coast. We've not seen the strongest wind jet along the coast, have we?
They're starting to increase right now, Marshall, as that northern eyewall comes ashore. Let's look at the latest radar imagery, and you can see it very, very clearly on the radar image here. Now, right here is the circulation center, and the northern eyewall is just coming on the coast here, and it will move right into Vermilion Bay and up toward New Iberia and then Lafayette, Louisiana, over the next 3 or 4 hours. The strongest winds are occurring right now, right off the coast here, and the water's probably piling up there. 8 to 10 feet would be probably reasonable estimates. So if you're in those areas down here in the low-lying areas, make sure you take shelter on higher ground if you can, and it will continue to move to the north. There's some heavy rain bands moving past New Orleans. Talking to Dr. Greg Forbes, our severe weather expert, if there's any tornadic activity, it would be up and heading toward Bogalusa, Louisiana, in this band up here right now, but there's another band forming in here that potentially could become another severe weather producer. In the meantime, there's a much larger circulation associated with it, and that's producing some basically tropical storm force conditions over a much broader area. Even over Biloxi, we're seeing water rises well above normal, but the biggest surge will be well to the south, right in this core of strong winds, which is now almost on the coastline as it moves to the north. Now, as you look at the satellite imagery, you can see the system right here, and it's going to accelerate as it moves inland up to the northeast, and because of that, it's going to bring some fairly strong winds inland in that very small circle of high winds, and that's why we have some inland hurricane warnings and inland tropical storm warnings as well, and you can see them there basically just to the north of where the system will make landfall here, north of Lafayette into Mississippi, and then even up into central Louisiana, also some inland tropical storm warnings. Marshall?
All right.
We have a tornado watch in effect along the Gulf Coast. I want to show you what somebody...
Yeah, which direction are you feeling?
Step closer to becoming. Good morning, and thanks for watching us here on Your Weather Today. I'm Heather Tesh.
And I'm Marshall Cease. We're in alert mode. Hurricane Lili is in the progress of making landfall on the Louisiana coast.
Very strong gusty winds are hitting this area, as well as rainfall here in New Orleans. The airport is now shut down here.
Now, the latest advisory out of the National Hurricane Center puts this just south of the coast of Louisiana, but the northern eyewall making landfall right now, still packing winds of 100 miles per hour.
Keep in mind that we were looking at this earlier with wind speeds of 145 miles per hour, so it has diminished somewhat, but still certainly something we need to take very seriously, and we are concerned here, too, about the threat of tornadoes today. Notice the red box over much of Louisiana and parts of Mississippi. That is because we are concerned here that we could see these tornadoes breaking out today.
Dr. Steve Lyons is with us to take a look at Lili. And Dr. Lyons, what do you think about this? Will it weaken quickly, or will it remain very strong?
It should weaken fairly quickly over land, Marshall, but it's going to carry some fairly strong winds inland. When I say weaken quickly, weaken down to a Category 1 and then strong tropical storm, and bring those winds well inland, away from the coastline, so you need to be ready for that. Now, here's the latest satellite image. The northern eyewall is right on what appears to be Marsh Island right now. I'll show you on a radar image. The danger sector, of course, is the right front quadrant, so the high water action is basically at and to the east of the circulation in here, although the stronger winds are onshore all the way around to New Orleans and up to Biloxi. Off on the east side, we have some gusty winds, but it's relatively dry, and it's blowing from land, so we don't see that as near as big a threat. You saw the advisory. It's moving fairly quickly, so we don't expect huge rain accumulations. However, you could see some localized flooding associated with it. Hurricane warnings remain up from Highland, Texas to the mouth of the Mississippi. Those will be changed later today as the system moves inland. And we have tropical storm warnings up on the east side for those stronger winds on the east side of the circulation. Here's the latest radar, and you can see the northern eyewall right there coming onshore, very close to Marsh Island right there. Circulation center just a little bit offshore, but we're coming in soon. Now, the thing we worry about also is the winds will be carried in quite a ways, and so we have these inland wind warnings. Here's the circulation center down here, and right along that strip, along the Louisiana, Alabama border and all up the coast, that's where the inland hurricane wind warnings are, and we can see quite a few trees go down where it's already wet or has rained quite a bit from Tropical Storm Isidore over the last couple weeks. So watch out for falling trees in and around your home if you're out and around. Now, the remainder of the tropical Atlantic is quiet except one persistent tropical storm, and that's Kyle right there, south of Bermuda still. It's nearly stationary. And when we look at the latest information, winds 65 miles per hour. It had almost gotten back to hurricane again yesterday. It's nearly stationary, but we think it's going to take a slow but steady motion toward the northeast. In the general direction of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, we don't think it's going to make it there yet, but it will remain a storm anyway, and we'll continue to monitor that anyway. There's a circulation showing no signs right now of developing, just bringing some high surf. East Pac is quiet, Mark.
Well, with Kyle, is there any greater threat today than there was yesterday that could make a U.S. hit?
Well, right now we're just monitoring because it hasn't moved at all for the last, say, 24 to 30 hours, and we don't expect it to move very much over the next 72 hours. So we need to monitor it on the East Coast, but right now no significant threat.
Okay, certainly worth watching. And
like that general direction?